Now, let's go ahead and continue our class. The next chapter, not the next chapter, the next section which we are going to revise is the section of the registration chapter, section number 25. Yes, sir. Can you give us a quick linking? Where were we? Yes, Baba, we were discussing the chapter of registration. In the chapter of registration, we had already discussed section number 22, 23 and 24. Now we'll be discussing section number 25. Let me go ahead and give you a quick linking. We started learning GST with goods and service. Sir, goods and service has to be supplied. Supply can be either interstate supply or intrastate supply. Interstate supply, IGST shall be levied. Intrastate supply, CGST will be levied. Once GST is levied, sir, it has to be collected and paid by a taxable person. A taxable person is a person who is registered or who is liable to be registered under section number 25. Basically, if you are a person who is liable to be registered, then you are a taxable person. Okay, sir? Who is a taxable person? I've already told you. Now, yesterday in our previous class, basically, we had gone ahead and learned section number 22, which told about people who are liable. Section number 23 told about people who are not liable. Section number 24 told about compulsory registration in case of creations. Yes, sir, we remember. Now, we are going to learn section number 25, which is going to tell us about the procedures for registration. Let's go ahead and get it started. Everyone, in your section number 25 now. Section number 25 says, sir, if there is any person, supposingly there is one person, he has got an idea and he started a business. Baba, whenever you start a business, immediately you don't have to go ahead and take registration. You will go ahead and take registration only when you become liable under section number 22 or 24. Section number 22 tells people who are liable for registration. Section number 24 talks about compulsory registration. Yes, sir. Now that you became liable for registration under section number 22 or 24, you get 30 days ka time. That is the first section. Section number 25 subsection 1, which goes ahead and says that, sir, whenever a person becomes liable, submission of application. Section number 25 subsection 1 says, person liable apply for registration within 30 days. Section number 25 subsection 1 says what? Sir, if you become liable, you should go ahead and apply for registration within 30 days. There is a proviso, an exception which goes ahead and says, sir, if you are a casual taxable person, CTP or an NRTP, casual taxable person or a non-resident taxable person, you should apply 5 days prior to commencement of business. So if you are going to commence your business, 5 days prior only you should apply for registration. Okay, sir. SEZ unit or SEZ developer. Supposingly, in one state, I have a SEZ unit and I have one domestic tariff area ka unit. SEZ unit ka separate registration has to be taken. They have gone ahead and told. Okay, sir. There is an explanation which goes ahead and says, if the supplier is in the territorial waters of India, where will he take registration? Sir, he should go ahead and take registration in the nearest coastal state. Supplier is in the territorial water, registration in the nearest coastal state. Okay. Now, whenever you are reading section number 25 subsection 1 and section number 25 subsection 1 along with section number 25 subsection 1, you have to go ahead and read various rules because the procedure for registration is being told in the rules. Okay, sir, point is clear. Now listen to me. We are going to learn rule number 8, rule number 9, rule number 10, rule number 25, rule number 10A and rule number 18. Let's go ahead and start it now. So, sir, section number 25 went ahead and told whenever a person becomes liable, he should apply for registration within 30 days. Whenever you go ahead and apply for registration, rule number 8 is to be followed. Rule number 8 goes ahead and says, sir, every person except NTO. Sir, except NTO means N means NRTP, T means TDS deductor, TCS collector, OIDAR, because for them separate form is there. Separate rules are applicable. So they have gone ahead and told every person other than NRTP, TDS, TCS, TDS deductor, TCS collector, or if it is an OIDR, for them we have gone ahead and given different rule. Please follow different rule for registration. But every person other than NTO, whoever is liable under section number 25, liable under section number 25 means, sir, because section number 25 goes ahead and says once you become liable for registration under section number 22 or 24, you should apply within 30 days. So if you are a person who has to take registration within 30 days, Then do one thing, sir. Declare in part A of GST REG01. The form is GST REG01. In that there is a part A. Part A may declare PAN number, mobile number, and state PMS. Okay, sir. Once I go ahead and put my PAN number will be validated, mobile number will be validated by OTP, and then you have to put the state. Post verification, the temporary reference number shall be generated. Once the temporary reference number is generated, do one thing, there will be a part B of the form number GST REG01 which will get generated. Submit part B of GST REG01 duly signed and verified along with document. This kind of form part B will get generated, wherein you have to put business detail, promoter detail, authorized signatory, authorized representative, principal place of business. Do you have any additional place of business? You remember always, additional place of business can only be within the state. You can't go ahead and say I am in the state of Delhi, in Karnataka I have additional place of business. Baba, no, additional place of business only has to be within the state. Then whatever goods and service you are dealing in, any state specific information, this is very important. Aadhaar authentication. Now when you come to this tab, you will get an Aadhaar authentication ka tab, wherein if you go ahead and say yes, I want to do Aadhaar authentication. Sir, who are the people, first of all, who are required to do Aadhaar authentication? Who are the people who are not required? That is told in section number 25, 6A. 6A goes ahead and says, if you are a person who is already registered under GST, because Aadhaar authentication came only on 1st of April 2020. Now, 20 or 21, sir? 1st of April 2020 only. Yes, Baba. It was not before that. Yes, 1st of April 2020 onwards, government started doing Aadhaar authentication. They wanted to verify your identity because people were taking fake registrations and passing on fake credit. So government went ahead and told, if you are already registered on or before, or no, before 1/4/2020, because 1st of April 2020 से Aadhaar authentication came. So before 1st of April 2020, if you are already registered, you also have to do Aadhaar authentication, but from a date to be notified. As of now, there is no notification, and hence, if you were already registered, you don't have to do Aadhaar authentication. Okay, sir. But if you are a person who is going for registration after 1/4/2020, then they went ahead and told 6B may. See, 6A was about people who are already registered. 6B may they went ahead and told, if you are an individual, you have to undergo Aadhaar authentication or furnish proof of Aadhaar number or furnish alternate and viable means of identification. Your identity shall be verified. So individual has to undergo Aadhaar authentication first of all. 6C went ahead and told, section number 25, 6C went ahead and told, if you are an authorized signatory of any type, okay, managing an authorized partner, you have to undergo Aadhaar authentication. Karta shall also undergo Aadhaar authentication with effect from 1st of April 2020. Done, sir. Point is clear. 6A went ahead and told, already registered person has to undergo Aadhaar authentication from a date to be notified. 6B went ahead and told, individual has to undergo Aadhaar authentication from 1st of April 2020. 6C went ahead and told, sir, if you are authorized signatory, managing an authorized partner and Karta, you have to undergo Aadhaar authentication. 6D went ahead and told, 6D went ahead and spoke about, sir, 6A, 6B and 6C is not applicable. Everyone, 6A, 6B and 6C is not applicable to whom? To such person or class of person or any state or UT as notified. Government went ahead and told, it means 6D may, if we have gone ahead and mentioned you are not required Aadhaar authentication. First of all, my question is, when we read section number 25, 6A told already registered person who are registered or before 1st of April 2020 has to undergo Aadhaar authentication, but from a date not yet to be notified. It is not notified. ठीक है sir. Section number 25, 6B told individual has to undergo Aadhaar authentication from 1st of April. 6C went ahead and told AMK, authorized signatory, managing an authorized partner and Karta has to undergo. So who has to undergo Aadhaar authentication? IAMK. Done, sir. We will remember. Now 6D went ahead and told who are the people who don't have to undergo Aadhaar authentication. That is 6A, 6B, 6C is not applicable to whom? So sir, everyone over here, 6A, 6B, 6C is not of section number 25 shall not apply to person who is. Now, this is very minute amendment, but this amendment I had not gone ahead and taught separately in the amendment booklet also. Why, sir? Because it was just an error which was there. What was the error? Here 6A word was missing. Here, when they had gone ahead and put the notification, they had missed out the word 6A. So now 6A word has been put. What is the notification saying? Sir, if you are already registered person, or you are an individual, or you are AMK of section number 25, basically they are going ahead and telling you don't have to undergo Aadhaar authentication if you are these people. Who are these people, everyone? New Delhi PSU, you have to remember. Who are the people who don't have to undergo Aadhaar authentication? Sir, N for non-Indian citizen. If you are not an Indian citizen, you don't have to undergo Aadhaar authentication. D for Department of Central Government, State Government. L for local authority. P for, sir, P for public sector undertaking. S for statutory body, or U for UIN holder. Okay, sir, who doesn't have to undergo Aadhaar authentication? 6A, 6B, 6C is not applicable to whom? New Delhi PSU. Everyone with me again. N for non-Indian citizen. D for, sir, Department of Central Government, State Government. Then, sir, L for local authority. What is it? L for local authority. P for public sector undertaking, statutory body, and UIN holder. These people don't have to undergo Aadhaar authentication. So, who has to undergo? IAMK. Who doesn't have to undergo? New Delhi PSU. You have to remember this. Done, sir. Now, listen to me very carefully. When you are going ahead and submitting your part B, you have to always remember that whenever you go ahead, submit your part B, and if you tell a yes over here, in this scenario, what will happen? If you are a person who is required Aadhaar authentication and you tell a yes, then one mail will be sent to your registered email ID. Once you tell a yes over here and you do the verification and submit the form. Part B, once you submit, after that what will happen? One email will come in your mail ID. In that email, there will be a link. You will have to click the link, put your Aadhaar number, in your mobile number OTP will come, put the OTP, and then your Aadhaar verification is done. Only then it will be deemed that your form is submitted. Remember always, once you tell a yes over here and you submit the form, part B of GST REG 01, it is incomplete form unless you do Aadhaar authentication. So they will send an email to your email ID, and once hyperlink will come to your email ID, click the hyperlink, put your Aadhaar number, put the OTP, and Aadhaar is verified. Once the Aadhaar is verified, only then the officer will pick it up for further verification. Sir, if the hyperlink comes and I don't do the verification, then Baba 15 days ka time will be given. Once 15 days may you put the Aadhaar, very good. If you don't put the Aadhaar, then post 15 days, they will pick it up for verification. That is what is being told over here. Sir, did you opt for Aadhaar authentication? Yes, sir. I went ahead and told a yes, I want to do Aadhaar authentication. Then the date of submission of the application shall be the day you do the Aadhaar authentication. That is the day your hyperlink comes. You click on the hyperlink, put your Aadhaar number, put your OTP, and then the Aadhaar verification is done. Once the Aadhaar verification is done, it will be deemed that you have submitted the form. See, you immediately submit the form, but it will not be deemed that you have submitted the form unless you do the Aadhaar authentication, or if the hyperlink has come 15 days from the submission of part B, means hyperlink came to your mail ID, 15 days time will be given. Once 15 days gets over, it will be deemed that you have submitted the form, and acknowledgement on receipt of application. GST REG 02 में basically acknowledgement shall be given. Always remember, CTP and NRTP has to apply 5 days prior. Sir, today if I want to commence my business, 5 days prior I will have to apply for registration. When they apply for registration, they will have to go ahead and pay their taxes in advance. Yes, sir, they have to go ahead and pay their taxes in advance. CTP, NRTP, basically CTP and NRTPs are given temporary reference number for deposit of tax, and acknowledgement is issued post deposit. Here I have gone ahead and written CTP. You go ahead and follow CTP only. Okay, sir, done. Sir, applicant opt for Aadhaar authentication. No, if you don't opt for Aadhaar authentication, it means from your end, you are telling, sir, I am not required to do Aadhaar authentication, or I don't have Aadhaar card, I don't want to do Aadhaar authentication, and you submit the form. It means officer will think, okay, he doesn't want to do Aadhaar authentication, or he doesn't have an Aadhaar card, might be. That is why he has told, no, I don't want to do Aadhaar authentication, and he has submitted the form. Then actual date of submission of part B shall be considered as the date of submission of the form. Remember always, Aadhaar authentication told a yes, the day you do the Aadhaar authentication, or the day 15 days gets over, only then it will be deemed that, sir, you have submitted the form. But if you have gone ahead and told, no, sir, I don't want to do Aadhaar authentication, then the day you submit part B, that day only is deemed as the date of submission of the form. Okay, sir, I have gone ahead and submitted part A, and part B also I have filled. Now the form will be forwarded to your proper officer. Whoever is your proper officer, to him the form will be submitted. Proper officer, rule number 9 goes ahead and says he will go ahead and do verification. Everyone, rule number 9 goes ahead and says that proper officer will go ahead and do the verification. He will examine the application. Okay, application is complete or not, whether documents which are required, sir, whether he has put his photograph or not, whether he has gone ahead and attached all the documents or not, he will check. And now rule number 9 goes ahead and says, if you are a person who is notified under 6D, basically New Delhi PSU, then Aadhaar authentication is not required. In that scenario, if your documents are complete, remember always, if your documents are complete and your form is complete, within 7 working days, they will go ahead and approve the grant of registration. And rule number 10 goes ahead and says your registration certificate will be issued in GST REC 06. Along with that, in the registration certificate, they will go ahead and show your principal place of business and your additional place of business, and it shall be made available to you on the common portal, and your GSTN number, which is 15 digit ka GSTN number, shall be assigned to you. Every registration certificate to be signed or verified by the proper officer through electronic verification code. ठीक है sir, done. Now sir, the second one, let's come to the next one. Sir, I went ahead and did the verification. Now I am who? IAMK. I'm an individual, authorized signatory, managing authorized partner or karta. Then I have to go ahead and do Aadhaar authentication. See, always remember there are two things. Number one, your application has to be in order. Number two, Aadhaar authentication, if required, has to be done. Okay, sir. Sir, application is in order. Very good. Oof. Thank God. Application is in order. Second thing, sir, I am required to do Aadhaar authentication. Number one, I am required. Number two, I opted also. Aadhaar authentication successful also. Then Baba, no tension. Within the next 7 working days, they will go ahead and approve your registration and grant you the registration certificate. Okay, sir. Number one, I am required. IAMK is required. He opted also and successful also. Then within 7 days, what will happen, sir? Within 7 days, within 7 working days, they will go ahead and approve the registration. Okay, sir. But, sir, supposingly, application is in order. I am required also. I opted also. But I failed to do Aadhaar authentication. Means OTP did not come to my mobile number because mobile number given was wrong. Then, sir, I failed. Or, sir, applicant is required Aadhaar authentication. He did not opt only. Sir, when you did not required but you did not opt, it means again you failed. Always remember one thing, sir, if you fail Aadhaar authentication, then they will come for physical premises ka verification. They could not verify your identity. They will come to your place of business and physical verification of your place of business will be done. So application is in order. You are required Aadhaar authentication. You opted also, you failed, or you are required but you did not opt only, or even after going ahead and doing successful Aadhaar authentication, sir, PO deems it fit to carry out physical verification of place of business. Sir, even after, everyone, PO deems it fit to carry out physical verification of place of business means, sir, even after doing Aadhaar authentication, PO still doubts you, then he will come for the physical verification of place of business. Number one, did not opt for Aadhaar authentication or opted but failed. Number three, always remember, if you have done Aadhaar authentication, still proper officer feels that he wants to go ahead and do Aadhaar authentication, not Aadhaar authentication, still he wants to do physical premises ka verification, then officer will come for physical premises ka verification, or if he could not go ahead and do physical premises ka verification, any other document can be verified as the PO deems it necessary. And then always remember, after physical verification, within 30 days of the submission of the form, your registration certificate will be approved and registration certificate shall be granted. Yes, sir. Point is clear. Let's go ahead. The next one over here now. This one is done. Yes, sir. Sir, I went ahead and filled my application. Officer is going ahead and doing verification. Now come to the third step. Sir, supposingly, if application is found to be deficient and Aadhaar authentication required opted also, and Aadhaar authentication successful. Baba, always remember, whenever your application is deficient, they will go ahead and issue a notice in GST REG 03. Notice in GST REG 03 will be issued within 7 working days. Now you have to go ahead and give the clarification information and document. CID means clarification information and document in GST REG 04 within 7 working days. Once you go ahead and give the clarification, sir, first of all, see, application, there is a application is deficit, Aadhaar authentication is fine, then he will go ahead for application ka deficit, he'll ask you the clarification information document within 7 working days. Either within 7 working days approve, or within 7 working days he will go ahead and give you the clarification information document required. For that he will tell you in GST REG 03, you go ahead and give the clarification information document within the next 7 working days. If PO is satisfied, then within 7 working days he will grant the registration and issue GST REG 06 में your registration certificate. Okay sir, if PO is not satisfied or within 7 working days I did not go ahead and give a reply, then PO may record the reason and reject your application and inform you in GST REG 05 that we are rejecting your application. Okay sir, point is clear. Now listen to me very carefully. Supposingly, sir, the next one, application is also deficient plus applicant required Aadhaar authentication. Number 1, application deficit, GST REG 03 will be given. Number 2, sir, Aadhaar authentication required, you did not opt, or you failed Aadhaar authentication, or proper officer feels it necessary to carry out physical premises ka verification. Then physical premises ka verification, physical premises of physical verification of place of business or other document will be done. And now see, for not doing Aadhaar authentication, or if the officer wants to do physical premises ka verification, first physical premises ka verification will be done, and then the application may whatever deficit is there, for that GST REG 03 will be given. But here GST REG 03 ka time limit will be 30 days. So notice in GST REG 03 within 30 days from the date of submission of application will be given. You have to go ahead and reply within the next 7 days. If PO is satisfied, he will grant the registration. If PO is not satisfied or you don't reply, he will go ahead and reject the application. Yes sir, point is clear. Always remember, there are 2 things which are there. Number 1, application deficit, notice will be given. Sir, Aadhaar authentication not done, or failed Aadhaar authentication, or officer deems it necessary to carry out physical premises ka verification, then sir, he will carry out physical premises ka verification and then give you the notice. Done sir, point is clear. Now sir, what if officer fails to take action, sir? Officer should go ahead and within 7 working days from the date of submission of successful Aadhaar authentication grant me registration. What if he fails? Or sir, within 30 days from the date of submission of application, in case of failure or not opting for Aadhaar authentication, or when physical premises ka verification is required, in that scenario 30 days ka time limit is there with the officer. What if officer fails? Or sir, I went ahead and gave the clarification information document, I have given it, but from the 7 days from the date of giving clarification information document, officer has to go ahead and grant me the registration. Over here we went ahead and learned that sir, officer will go ahead and tell you to give the clarification information document, you have to give it within 7 working days. If officer is satisfied, within 7 working days he will grant. What if sir, officer did not grant the registration within the next 7 working days of giving the clarification information document? They are going ahead and telling, if officer defaults in his timelines, officer also will suffer. Here application of yours will be deemed to have been approved, and GSTN number and registration certificate duly signed or e-verified has to be made available within 3 days post expiry of that 7 working days, 30 days or 7 working days. After that 7, 30 or 7 days expires, you will be given your registration certificate within the next 3 days. Okay sir, point is clear. Always remember one thing, everyone over here. Now sir, what happened? Registration certificate is granted. Registration certificate is granted. Once your registration certificate is granted, rule number 10 comes into picture, which goes ahead and says, sir, once your registration certificate has been granted, within the first due date of monthly return, first monthly return, or 45 days from registration certificate, whichever is earlier, you have to go ahead and furnish your bank account detail. Because see what happens, bank wala will tell you, please get your GST certificate. To take bank account, to get a bank account done, you need a GST certificate. For GST you need a bank account, and hence GST wala told GST registration के time पे don't give bank account detail. Once we give you the GSTN number, go to the bank, open your bank account, and then you come back and put your bank account details. And hence, rule number 10A was introduced, which went ahead and told, sir, once your GSTN number is given, go to the bank, give your registration certificate, take a bank account, and you have to fill the bank account detail within the due date of monthly return or 45 days from the registration certificate, whichever is earlier. Okay, sir, point is clear. The next one over here is rule number 25. Rule number 25 talks about physical premises ka verification. It goes ahead and says PO may get physical premises ka verification of the place of business done before or after grant of registration also. Before also it can be done. After grant of registration also it can be done. When they come for physical premises ka verification, they will upload verification report along with other document including photos in GST-REG 30. They will come, they will take photograph, online they will go and upload the details in GST-REG 30 that sir we had gone, these are the pictures, etc. within the next 15 working days. Okay sir, verification before grant of registration can be done if you don't go ahead and opt for other authentication or due to not opting or failure of other authentication. Sir, verification after grant can also be done. Why can physical premises ka verification be done after grant also? Any doubt officer has, they can come for physical premises ka verification. Rule number 10A, I have already gone ahead and told you, bank account detail furnishing within the first due date of monthly return or 45 days, whichever is earlier. Rule number 18 just goes ahead and says your registration certificate is given. No, now put one frame and put it on the prominent location. Basically, when somebody is getting into your premises, you would have seen shopkeepers, they go ahead and put their GST certificates, they put it frame and they put it. So the same thing, display of registration certificate in a prominent location at place of business or additional place of business. Your registration certificate has to be displayed. Display the GSTN number, your GSTN number which is there when your entrance of your shop may, you have to put the GSTN number. Display GSTN number on the name board exhibited at the place of business or additional place of business. Number 1, GST certificate, ticket. Number 2, your shop ka board which is there you put your GSTN number. Whenever you are entering a shop, please try to understand, please try to see all these things. Done sir, we will do it. Now, always remember one thing sir, if you become liable, everyone, very very important for you to understand, if you become liable, you should go ahead and apply for registration. So I became liable under section number 22 or 24 over here. You should go ahead and apply for registration within the next 30 days. Always remember one thing, supposingly you became liable over here, you apply for registration over here. When you go ahead and apply over here and here registration certificate was granted, always remember one thing, from the day you become liable till the date of grant of registration certificate. See, when you become liable, you are required to pay GST to the government, but government is telling from here to the grant of registration certificate, whatever supply you have gone ahead and done, sir, for that, see, what government does is, whenever you go ahead and apply within 30 days, no, government have gone ahead and told in rule number 10 that registration certificate which is granted will be made valid retrospectively from the day you become liable if you apply for registration within 30 days. What is the benefit of a retrospective registration certificate? See over here everyone, for all these supplies within the next 30 days, you can go ahead and issue revised tax invoice. That is the benefit, and you can collect the GST and pay it to the government. Yes sir, yes sir, we are all clear. Sir, supposingly I went ahead, everyone over here, sir, I went ahead and became liable. If I did not go ahead and apply within the 30 days, then what? You went ahead and applied over here. If you go ahead and apply over here and here registration certificate is granted, see, always remember one thing, from the day you become liable till the date of grant of registration certificate, because the day registration certificate is granted, that day say only it is valid. Why sir? Because you did not apply within 30 days. Registration certificate shall be valid from the date of grant of registration certificate and not retrospectively if you don't apply within 30 days. And hence in this scenario, for all these supplies, you have to go ahead and issue revised tax invoice, but revised tax invoice is not possible in this scenario. In this scenario, for all these supplies, you have to pay the GST out of your own pocket, you can't collect and pay. So always remember, you become liable, you should apply within 30 days. If you apply within 30 days and resistance certificate is granted, resistance certificate is valid retrospectively, and hence you can issue revised tax invoice for all the supplies between the day you become liable till the date of grant of registration certificate. Sir, I became liable, I should apply within 30 days. I did not apply within 30 days. I applied after 30 days and resistance certificate was granted. Resistance certificate is valid from the date of grant, and hence revised tax invoice is not possible for the supplies between the date of becoming liable till the date of grant of resistance certificate. But for those supplies, you have to pay the GST out of your own pocket. Got it, sir? Let's go ahead. So this was the point. If application submitted within 30 days of becoming liable, registration effective from the date of becoming liable. But if you don't submit within 30 days, then registration effective from the date of grant. Yes, sir. We all got it. Let's go ahead. Everyone over here now. I went ahead and taught you section number registration. We were learning in registration. I taught you section number 22. Section number 21 told supplier liable. Section number 22 subsection 2 went ahead and told existing registered person is liable. Section number 23 told transferee is liable for registration. Section number 4 went ahead and told transferee is liable for registration. Section number 23 went ahead and told people who are not liable for registration. 23(1)(a) told if you are not liable to pay any tax, you don't have to take registration. B went ahead and told, sir, agriculture does not have to go ahead and take registration. 23(2) told notified category of person also does not have to take registration. Basically, government can go ahead and exempt some notified category of person. Section number 24 went ahead and told about compulsory registration in case of creations. Section number 25 subsection 1 we went ahead and learned now, which went ahead and told, sir, once you become liable, please take registration within 30 days. CTP and RTP will take 5 days prior. And SEZ means separate registration to be taken if the supply is in the territorial waters of India, nearest coastal state. Yes, sir. Point is clear. Let's go ahead. Everyone, please come back. Now, section number 25(2) is there. Section number 25(2) says if you have multiple place of business and you want multiple registration, you can do it. So, supposingly in a state I have multiple place of business. Can I take multiple registration? Yes, Baba, take multiple registration. For taking multiple registration, multiple application, multiple verification, multiple grant of registration certificate will be done. Simple. Person having multiple place of business in state or union territory may have separate registration for each place of business. If you want, you can do it. Sir, rule number 11 is applicable. Separate application, separate verification and separate registration certificate shall be granted. Separate application with respect to each place of business, separate verification and separate registration certificate shall be granted. That is what is being told. Sir, section number 25(3) went ahead and told voluntary registration. If you want to be the buck crossing, sir, I want registration without crossing the turnover or without becoming liable also, you can go ahead and take registration. Nobody is going to stop you. Baba, only for classroom purpose I am telling Bakra. Real life mein many people take it. ठीक है? So, if you are not liable but still you want to go ahead and take registration, you can go ahead and take registration. Section number 25(3) goes ahead and says voluntary registration can be taken by a person. But once you take registration voluntarily, all the provision of the act will be applicable to you because you are now a registered person. Yes, sir. Point is clear. Effect of voluntary registration, all the provision of the act shall apply, and you have to take ITC, you have to charge GST, you can take ITC, you have to charge GST, you have to file your return. No lock-in period means if after 1 month you told, oh no, sorry, I took voluntary registration, I should not have taken, I want to cancel, you can go and cancel also. Section number 25(4) goes ahead and talks about distinct person. Section number 25(5) goes ahead and talks about distinct person. Sir, what is distinct person? Same state, separate registration, distinct person. One state registered, another state registered, distinct person. One state registered, one state not registered, also it will be treated as establishments of distinct, means it will be treated as establishment of different person, establishment of distinct person. Section number 25(6) goes ahead and says PAN number is mandatory. However, for TDS deductor, when they take registration, TAN number also can be used. PAN is mandatory. TDS deductor may use TAN in order for grant of registration. Always remember, for TDS deductor and TCS collector, rule number 12 is applicable when they go ahead and apply for registration. Sir, when they go ahead and apply, for them it is not GST REC 01, it is GST REC 07. When they fill GST REC 07, in part A, they will have to go ahead and fill the details of their registration in the state where they require the registration. Part B may they are allowed that in the state where you are going ahead and applying for registration, if you don't have a place of business, means you don't have a rental agreement, etc. Do one thing. In part B, just put the head office ka detail and give those address proof, etc. Part B may you can put the state in which principal place of business is there. So when a TDS deductor or a TCS collector is taking registration, part A may the state where they are going ahead and they want the registration. Part B may they can go ahead and put their head office ka detail. And here within the next 3 working days, registration certificate shall be granted after verification. Okay, sir. Point is clear. 6A, 6B, 6C, and 6D. I have already told you. 7, section number 25, 7 goes ahead and talks about section number 25, subsection 7 goes ahead and talks about NRTP. Sir, application in GST REG 09. They will have to go ahead and use with form application in REG 09 along with self-attested copy of the passport 5 days prior to commencement of business. They will have to go ahead and put it. Okay, sir. They will have to apply 5 days prior to the commencement of business. And you know what? Government is telling you are a NRTP, non-resident taxable person. You might run away. So government went ahead and told advance tax to be deposited on the basis of temporary reference number. You will be given a temporary reference number. First pay your taxes in advance, only then we'll go ahead and grant you the registration certificate. Rule number 9 and 10 will be applicable mutatis mutandis. It means verification and then the grant of registration certificate. Application made by NRTP shall be signed or e-verified by an authorized signatory, and the authorized signatory has to be a resident of India and having a valid PAN number. Yes, sir. Point is clear. Let's go ahead. The next one over here is, sir, over here everyone, what did I go ahead and tell you? Section number 25. Section number 25 1, if you want to apply, you should apply 30 days. Within 30 days of becoming liable. Okay, 5 days prior in case of NRTP and CTP. Sir, SEZ, you have to go ahead and take separate registration. Then what was the next one, everyone? Can you go ahead and tell me what was the next one? Can you go ahead and tell me what was the next one, everyone? Sir, SEZ has to take separate registration. If you are there in the territorial waters of India, nearest coastal state, you have to go ahead and take registration. Section number 25 2, multiple place of business, you can go ahead and take multiple registration. Section number 25 3, voluntary registration. Section number 25 4 and 5 went ahead and told about distinct person. Then, sir, section number 25 6 went ahead and told PAN is mandatory. A TDS deductor or a TCS collector can go ahead and, no, only for TDS deductor they have told you can go ahead and apply using TAN number. 25 6A, 6B, 6C and 6D went ahead and spoke about Aadhaar authentication. Yes, sir, we remember. Then 25 7 goes ahead and talks about NRTP. NRTP has to go ahead and apply for registration. When he is applying for registration, he has to apply along with an authorized signatory who is a person who is a resident of India and having a valid PAN number. Section number 25 8 went ahead and told person fails to obtain registration. If you are a person who has failed to obtain registration, then proper officer may register you suo moto. Proper officer will go ahead and register you suo moto. Rule number 16 goes ahead and says this. So you became liable. You did not take registration. Who will come to know? I will not take registration. Then what happened? A survey, investigation, etc. happened, and proper officer finds out that you are liable but you have failed to obtain registration. Then proper officer may register the person on a temporary basis and issue you a GST REG 12. Hey, you did not take registration. This is your GST REG 12 and he will register you on temporary basis. Now what will you have to do? Once proper officer has gone ahead and registered you temporarily, now you will be given 90 days ka time. Go online, formally put your application, put all the details and take a formal registration. So it goes ahead and says within 90 days either against this order GST REG 12 you can go for an appeal, or within the next 90 days you can go online. Rule number 8 9 10 simply follow. Put your rule number 8 goes ahead and says just go ahead and fill the GST REG 01. Rule number 9 may will do the verification and rule number 10 may will grant the registration certificate. But here when the registration certificate is granted, it will be valid the day GST REG 12 was issued. From that day it will be made valid. Okay, sir, I want to go for an appeal. Go for an appeal. Appellate authority went ahead and told. A means appellate authority went ahead and told, okay, this officer ka GST REG 12 is bakwas. Then they will tear and throw. no registration required. But if appellate authority also went ahead and told Ramesh, you are required to take registration, then appellate authority appeals the PO order, then you will just be given next 30 days ka time. Within the next 30 days, submit your registration ka application. Rule number 8, 9, 10 will be applicable. And now when the registration certificate is granted, again, it will be valid from the day GST 12 was issued. Now, section number 25(9) goes ahead and talks about specialized agencies like United Nations ka agencies which are there. Everyone, specialized agencies of United Nations, any MFIO organizations which are notified under the UN Act, consulate, embassies of foreign countries, and other class of notified person will be given UIN number. Everyone listen to me very carefully. Whenever it's a consulate, embassy, etc., what happens? Our embassy in their country, they will not go ahead and charge any tax. So their embassy in our country also, we should not go ahead and take any taxes. For an example, this is US ka embassy which is there. In this scenario, what happens? Supposingly, they are going ahead and purchasing anything from a person. This person has to take their UIN number and put the details in the UIN number and submit the GST to the government under that UIN number. What government will do? Government will go ahead and give a refund to them. That's it. So here what happens? These people are given UIN number just for the purpose of refund, so that the taxes can be refunded to them, and that is what is being told. They will have to go ahead and give an application. Post verification, they will be given UIN number within 3 days. UIN number, when it is given, every state may, they don't have to go ahead and take UIN number. UIN number, once it is given, it is valid across India. For an example, US embassy is there. US embassy in Delhi has taken one UIN number. Then UIN number in Delhi wala, they will be using across India. Supposing they have an embassy in Chennai or Kolkata, the same UIN number will be used by them. Okay, sir, got it. Everyone, listen to me very carefully. I started teaching you section number 25. Section number 25, 1 went ahead and told 30 days may you have to apply. 2 went ahead and told multiple place of business, multiple registration. 3 told voluntary registration. 4 told about distinct person. 5th one told about distinct person. 6th one told PAN is mandatory for TDS deductor. 10 also can be used. 6A, 6B, 6C and 6D went ahead and told about Aadhaar authentication. 7 went ahead and told about NRTP. 8 went ahead and told suo moto registration will be done. If you don't go ahead and take registration, suo moto registration will be done. Then we have 9th one which went ahead and told about UIN. Yes sir, point is clear. Let's go ahead. Now, everyone listen to me very carefully. Registration I taught you section number 22, section number 23, section number 24, section number 25 procedure. Now there is a section which is section number 26, total bakwas deemed registration. They are telling, sir, if you go ahead and take registration under Karnataka SGST Act for an example, then you will be registered under CGST Act also. This is what is being told. Registration certificate granted or rejected under the CGST or UTGST, SGST or UTGST Act, deemed that registration granted under CGST Act also. You apply under the Karnataka SGST Act. Registration granted under Karnataka SGST Act, it will be deemed that CGST Act also registration is granted. If registration is rejected under Karnataka SGST Act, then registration rejected under CGST Act also. Yes sir, point is clear. Section number 26 is total bakwas. But I feel section number 25 is an A graded point in an A graded chapter. In this chapter, section number 22, 23 and 24 and 25. 25 say one small point, might be a small 2 marks ka point, will be asked in the exam. Please take care of it. Done sir, point is clear. Now comes section number 27. Section number 27 goes ahead and talks about, so sir, till here we are done with section number 25. Yes sir, point is clear. Yes sir, we are all clear. Section number 22, 23 and 24 and section number 25 is done till here.